theme is From Disney to Your Boardroom. You can find all about it at herview.org. So, welcome. One of the things I'm most famous for is working with Disney. And I apply lots of things from organizational storytelling research in this article for Academy of Management Journal. And the notion is that Disney is kind of a Tomorrowland because they have many different rooms. So this is a metaphor. You're looking here at a mansion. And like any big organization, storytelling is going on in the different rooms. You don't just tell one story. The organization is performing hundreds of them, a large organization, at one time. And you're not in any, but the one room at a time. So that means you have to rely on communicating with people who are hearing the stories in other rooms that you were not in. So I think it's an excellent metaphor. I like it for understanding any large organization. Now, the interesting feature about it is if you come to a given room, say the cook's room in the lower left-hand corner, the chef is there. And if you come from the top room where the aristocrats hang out in this mansion, it's kind of a whodunit mansion, and I come from a room where the lady's taking the shower, well, we're going to be in the chef's room, right? And maybe people from other rooms are there. They're not going to get the same interpretation because they didn't come from meetings and performances in the different rooms. So check that out, Academy of Management Journal. Now, I've got many books and articles and a website on Auntie-Narrative. You can go to auntienarrative.com and check it all out. I coined that word, so you won't find it in the dictionary. Not yet, but maybe someday. And it's kind of all of the stories, parts and pieces, the seeds of stories that formed before in the history and the bets on the future. And so it has a time dimension horizontally, and it has depth dimension. I won't go through all of them, but we go beneath whatever concepts you have. It's kind of like tomorrow. Those concepts filter what you can perceive and understand in the meaning of something happen in a given room. And the other thing, maybe go deeper, and you may not want to go this far, but it's kind of your spirituality. So a given person's spirituality, the words will be interpreted differently, and you'll have a different sense of what's going on in tomorrow. My wife and I work with horses a lot. We've got horses are herd animals, and we've used it with working with veterans and their families, taking them to the barn. We don't have them ride the horse, but they see the horse. Sometimes we let them groom the horse, and we watch how the horse reacts, because the horse is a herd animal, and they're very sensitive to whoever is around them, people, other animals, and the horse is mirroring the emotions. So it's a good way for us to look at what's going on and get a first read on what people are feeling. And when we take executives there, customers, vendors, etc., we get a reading of what's the emotional content of the organization. And the horse does that because we're looking at embodied restoring process. That Grace Ann Rosilla and myself have done is this notion of ensemble leadership. It's in a leadership journal, and it's about conversational storytelling, that conversation is embedded in organizations, and we've tried to work with groups of people to form storytelling circles, and in those circles, we usually pass the talking stick until they get the notion of actively listening, taking turns. It really trains really great behavior, but it's also good for innovation, creativity, projects to increase revenue, lower cost, unleash human potential by doing entrepreneuring or innovation in these storytelling groups, not just the CEOs that's the leader, not just the board of directors, but if we can have everybody understand their role in leadership and their departments, units, wherever they are, and taking responsibility for the organization as a whole, then we've done a good thing with ensemble leaderships based on indigenous constructs here in the Southwest. And it goes against the CEO myth, whereas the CEO is the only one that can think and strategize for the organization. So it's a very distributed, cooperative, collaborative approach to leadership. And it follows the conversational storytelling model, which is another book that Grace Ann Roselle and I wrote. So let's see if another slide comes available. Let me tell you something about True Storytelling. It's a book that I wrote with Jens Larsen and Lena Broom, and you can find it on Amazon. It has 7 true storytelling principles. Helping stories along is one of them that I really like. As a system, how do we help the stories along? How do we understand the history? Grace Ann and I will often distribute people in an organization in a big room, and the people toward the back of the room joined 30 years ago, people in the middle, maybe 20 years ago, 10, the ones in the front just joined the last year. And we start in the back to unfold a little bit of the history. So we respect the stories already there before we go building new ones. And it really gives good context. So in this slide, you worked with Annette Strand out of Denmark, who's got a storytelling lab. I'm the godfather of the Sandtræ Storytelling Lab there in Denmark. And we use it in organizations. We'll get people around a conference table. Everybody has their own sand tray. Here you can see a spiral drawn in the sand, and we'll say, you know, you can just mess the sand any way you want and put objects from your desk there. You know, a stapler, a Post-it note, a postage stamp, a tic-tac box, whatever it is, and we'll ask you to create a story from those objects. Now, why are we doing that? It sounds kind of odd. Well, because we believe that everything in the quantum universe, that's why we have the spiral of the Milky Way there, has energy, has vibrant matter, vibrates with a frequency. And you've heard in quantum physics, you can collapse the wave. Well, when they pick an object and they put it in the sand tray, they're making a choice, and a memory is going to pop up relevant to that object. Objects in there representing where they are in the history of the organization or the future of the organization. Will take them through some of the anti-narrative processes and the whole restoring steps that we've been developing for 25 years. And you'll find that in the True Storytelling book. You'll find it at the antinarrative.com, and you'll find it at purview.org. Here, I don't think it all showed up on the slide, but PERVIEW.org. And you can go to the description of this video. I'll put some links there for you. So I hope that's kind of fun for you as an overview of how much storytelling is so important in Tomorrowland and anti-narrative and the restoring steps. There's 7 of them. You can go to purview.org to find it. And you can download at purview.org/1 free gift on the role that storytelling plays in restoring and retaining millennials, because millennials are 70% of the workforce globally in organizations. And it's a $30 billion cost to organizations to retain, replace, and retain millennials. So, and we look at intergenerational harmony and conflict in organizations. Your leaders from, like me, right, a baby boomer, I got a whole different cultural experience. I'm coming from a different tomorrow room than somebody who's a millennial, seeking meaning, work-life balance, which I am too. I'm trying to grow into being a millennial. So anyway, restoring the future, the spiral galaxy, blending into the spiral sand tray, working with horses to understand our own embodiment. We do a variety of things at purview.org with coaches and consultants, working with executive teams, doing master classes and retreats. This has been a little taste of it. subscribe, give us a like, give us a share, and I hope the forum event goes really, really well. Thank you so very, very much.